This week on Machinery PTV, it's 20 Series time. An amazing collection of John Deere 20s were featured at this auction, with a 7520 in the spotlight. This high school tractor shop develops leaders as it revives the past. And All-Star Camp is the place to be for the Showpig community.
Your machinery is a serious investment and at the heart of every farming operation. Some call it a passion. We're Machinery PTV, and today we'll cover everything from auction roundups to the classics to the latest trends and technology. Machinery Pete, the most trusted name in farm equipment.
Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com. Well, folks, I've been covering auctions for 30 years, and I got to tell you, I don't know that I've ever been this wet, but it's totally worth it. We're here in Wilmington, Ohio today for Kenny Beam's auction, and we're going to zero in on his John Deere 20 Series tractors today, including a pair of four-wheel drives. Now, before we get to this one, let's throw back to the warm and dry studio, catch up to the latest farm equipment news.
All right, thanks, Pete. I'm Clinton Griffiths. The USDA announcing plans to extend the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program until September 11th. The decision coming after the agency reviewed some 1,700 responses. They blame the lack of face-to-face interactions between local Farm Service Agency employees and farmers due to the coronavirus pandemic as one reason for the low number of applications. Now, so far, roughly $7 billion in aid payments have now gone out. That's less than half of the total estimated benefits. Meanwhile, there's food security concerns for many Americans hit hard economically by the pandemic, and that could lead to long-term health issues. Now, that's according to a study published online in Sage Journals. Researchers looked at a study of 25,000 people over 10 years. They found people who experienced food insecurity were more likely to develop serious health issues such as cardiovascular disease, and those issues increased the chances of an early death. Now, according to the researchers, death from heart disease and cardiovascular mortality was 75% higher in food insecure people. New dietary guidelines recommend including yogurt and cheese as complementary feeding options for infants ages 6 to 12 months. The recommendation coming from the U.S. Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee. It's also saying dairy foods should be included in healthy eating patterns for toddlers 12 to 24 months. Now let's look at some recent auction prices from around the country.
Register for Farm Journal Field Days, the new American Farm Show at fjfielddays.com.
All right, Kenny, tell us about your John Deere 5020 here, 1970 model. Did your dad buy this or did you?
I bought it.
Okay, where'd you get it?
I bought it out of Evansville, Indiana. I just filled in the gaps on the 20 Series, and I drove over there to get it.
I understand that you drove over and you brought your trailer with you.
Yeah, my buddy went with me, and we discussed about maybe leaving the trailer somewhere else instead of taking it there. You look a little desperate when you show up to buy a tractor with a trailer on it.
But if you're going to buy a tractor like this, I mean, bring the trailer and bring it home, right?
That's right. Yes.
Yep. Have you used it or kind of stored it since you got it?
Just stored it. Just been a good tractor, good running one, but I haven't really used it, for on the farming operation or anything.
But this kind of muscle tractor from the early 70s is really hot.
I always really liked them,
Well, it's pretty cool how you built out the whole 20 Series collection, Kenny. Very cool.
Yep. Well, I thank you for that, and I've enjoyed every one of them along the way.
You look at $11,500. You able to bid on up? You look at $11,500. You able to bid on her 10 now. 7.5. You look at pay. You able to buy $11,750. You bid on her all the way. Let's get her bought. You look at $11,750. You look down. Look at 7. Look at 5. Look at $11,750. You able to bid on her 10. You able to buy $11,750. Anybody else? $11,750. 11's now $12,000. You look at travel. Look at $12,000. Your turn, Dale. You look at $12,000. You want to do it? You look at travel. Look at $12,000. Sean, you look at travel. Look at travel. Look at $12,000. And now 2.5. You look at travel. Look at TV. Look at $12,250. You look at tell him I don't believe him. He said no at $10,000. Give 12 2.5. You look at travel. Look at TV. Look at TV. Look at TV. He said no. Anybody else? 12,250 on him and 12 2.5. And now 12.5. You look at travel. Look at 5. You look at travel. Look at 5. Look at 12.5. You look at travel. Look at 5. Look at 5. Look at travel. Look at 5. Look at 12,500. You look at travel. Look at 5. Look at 12.5. You want to do it? Now 7.5. You look at travel. Look at 7. Look at 5. Look at 12,750. You look at 12. Now 13,000. You look at 13. You look at 13. Look at 13. You look at 13. You look at 13,000. You look at $13,000. I'm just glad we're not selling the bread heifer, John. She would have calved by now. You look at 13,000. You look at 13. You want back in, sir? You look at 13. You look at 13. You want to do it? And now 2.5. You look at 13. Look at 13. Look at 13. Look at 13. Don't walk away mad. You look at 13. You look at 13. 250. And now 13.5. You look at 13. You look at 5. Look at 13.5. You look at 13. Look at 5. Look at 5. Look at 13. Look at 5. Look at 10. Now 7.5. Hello there, new hound on the track. You look at 13,750. You look at 13. Look at 7. Look at 5. Look at 5. Look at 13. 7.5. 14,000. You're out online. You look at 14. You look at 14. You look at 14. You look at 14,000. You look at 14. You look at 14. Look at 14. You're out online. You're out online. You look at 14. You look at $14,000. You want to do it? You look at $14,000 on them. $14,000 to bid on them, and sold $13,750. Buy number 98. Thank you. Now 10. You look at 10. You look at 10,000. 10.5. You look at 10.5. Now 11,000. You look at $11,000. Sean, you look at 10.5. Now 11. You look at $11,000. Sean, you look at $11,000. Sean, you look at now 5. You look at 5 around 11.5. You look at 5 around 11.5. You look at 5 around 11,500. You look at 11.2.5. You look at 11.2 around 11.250. Now 11.5. You look at 5 around 11.5. Now 7.5. You look at 7. You look at around now. You look at around 11.750. Now 12. You look at 12,000. You look at 12 around $12,000. Now 2.5. You look at 2 around 12,250. You look at travel. Look at 2.5. You look at travel. Look at 2 around. Look at 2 around. Anybody else? We don't want to miss you. You look at travel. Look at 2 around. Look at 2 around. Look at 2 around. Look at 12. Anybody else? You look at 12,250 on them, and I sold $12,000. WJ's man, 12,000.
Here are a few more items that sold on today's sale.
We're not looking. You look at 19, 2.5. You look at 19, look at 19, 250. Anybody else? 19, 2.5. Sold her to you at 19,000. You look at 14. You look at 14. You look at 14. You look at 14,000. You want to do it? You look at 14. You look at 14 to bid on them, and I sold 13,500. This is a power shift, 12 2.5. You look at 12, look at 12, look at 12, 250 on me, look at 12, 250 on them, and I sold $12,000 right here, young man. You look at TV, look at 19, 250. You look at 19, that's a bad attitude, sir. You look at 92.5. You look at 91's what he's thinking. You look at 91, look at 91, everybody else. You look at $9,100 on them, and I sold $9,000. I'm at 8.5. You look at $850 shot. Got WJ in the lead. 800, give a quarter. You look at David, look at $25. Sean, you look at 8 and a quarter. Voter. You look at 825 to bid on them, and I sold 800 WJ.
Machinery Pete TV, brought to you by Ag Direct. For simple, fast, and flexible equipment financing, ask for Ag Direct. Your next piece of equipment is on MachineryPete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. Only on MachineryPete.com.
Well, time to learn about something really cool that auctioneer Kevin Wendt is doing through his website, showpig.com, creating an all-star camp for bright kids from all around the country, teaching them leadership skills.
So we started an all-star camp about 7 years ago with the main focus to bring youth in from all over the United States that would want to come and just learn more about the show pig business, but not from the side of the showing animals, not from a lot of the camps are, hey, we're going to teach you about showmanship or fitting your pig or feeding your pig. Our camp is more about kind of the real world production side, and then taking it a step further to teaching them about leadership skills and, you know, just being better in their community and some of those kind of things. It's an annual camp. It's about a 5-6 day camp. The last 3-4 years we've been at Ohio State University, and this year we're actually going to Iowa State. We're really excited about going there. They're really looking forward to us coming as well. But one of the neat things we do, Greg, is the first day the students actually get to judge and evaluate some pigs on hoof. Then they get to process them and harvest them and grade them out. And then the last day of the camp, they actually get to eat some of the pork chops and some of the pork from what they looked at on hoof. And for a lot of our students, that's the first time they've ever seen anything like that. Sure. So they apply to the camp. They have to fill out an application form, and then we have a couple industry reps that kind of look at that. And so typically we'll have 70 to 80 applicants, and about 35 of them get chosen for the camp. And then what we normally do then after each camp, 3 or 4 of those students that kind of excel or whatever then get to come back the next year as leaders and kind of help run the camp too as well. And so again, that's another application process. And so sometimes we have 6 or 8 that apply. Sometimes we have 25 that apply, you know, for the leadership position the next year.
Welcome back to Tractor Tales, folks. This week we're going to journey to Delphi, Indiana, where some local high schoolers are working to preserve some cool family history. The program at Delphi isn't new, but here in Indiana, students get to bring their family's tractors in and give them a facelift. It's a program that benefits the students in school and on the farm.
I have a 1944 Farm All H. It was my great-grandpa's, and then when my grandpa started farming, it was passed down. It's pretty much the last 40 years of its life ran small augers when we harvest. It's been in really good condition. It's been kept in a barn its whole life, and I just finally got it pulled back out, and I'm planning on restoring it.
Here at Delphi, we have several ag powers and structures mechanics classes. We start our kids off as freshmen as a mandatory welding course. For many of our students that are rural or farm kids, they kind of drift towards restoring tractors because of the facilities that we have. We have restored over 35 tractors in the last 9 years in this shop.
Unfortunately, right now it does not run, which is why I had to pull it here, but hopefully I can change that. I've taken the hood off and everything when I cleaned it, and I didn't have it on when I cleaned it. I've purchased a new battery for it. I'm working on getting a gasket for the fuel sediment bowl, along with a few miscellaneous other parts, and hopefully I can get tires for it.
Every one of our students is an FFA member, but we also tie it in with Titan Tire. Titan has been really good to us and our students for giving tires to those projects. Also through FFA, we've been able to award some scholarships in the name of kids going into ag mechanics after high school.
Thanks to our ag program and Mr. Walker, we have the technology, we can restore tractors. My goal is to have it done by the time, I think it's in March, when we do or at least have it running and fully operational. We have a drive your tractor to school day, and one of my friends who doesn't live on a farm really wants to drive it because I can drive one of our others. So it'd be nice to have it done by early March or late February. It's just kind of sentimental value. It's kind of a link between like my ancestors and why I'm farming.
Got equipment to sell privately but tired of scams and hassles? Visit MachineryPete.com and click Sell Mine. MachineryPete.com, the simple and secure way to buy and sell equipment online.
All right, folks, we're going to talk with Kenny about this John Deere 7520 here. Now, I understand you bought this a number of years ago, Kenny?
Yes, I did. And it just was one that I wanted to fill in, you know, with my 20 series that my father didn't have.
And he started collecting the 20 series.
Well, he farmed with the the 20 series.
Yeah, he farmed with all that model. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is one he didn't have.
Yeah, that is correct. It is one that he didn't have, but I just wanted to, I was kind of collecting all the row crops.
You haven't had the 7520 out to use it much? You
No, I sure haven't. I mean, I just was using them, you know, collecting them and everything.
85, 9, able to buy, down, able to buy, down 95, 100, not 10, able to buy, 10, able to buy, 10, down 5. Able to 10, look at 5, able to buy, Dale, we did not get in. You're tardy, Dale. Able to get 10, 5. Able to get 10, able to buy, 5, able to buy, 10, 5. Look at those fenders. Able to get 10, 2.5, now 10, 5. Able to get 10, able to buy, 5, now 7.5, able to buy, now 11,000. Able to get $11,000, Sean, able to buy, now 2.5, able to buy, 11,250, now 11,5. Able to get 5, able to buy, 11,5. Able to get 5, now 7.5, you're out online. Able to get 750, able to get 7.5, able to get 5. Give it about 11,750, 11,750, 11,750 to bid on them, and and now 12,000, and now 12,000, sir. You look at travel about to get $12,000, Sean. You about to get travel about to get 12,000, and now 2.5. You look at travel to get TV about you're out online, you're out online. You look at travel to get TV about to get 12,250 on them. You about to get 12,2.5. Everybody else, you look at 12,250 on them. You about to get 12,2.5. Online bidder, a little quicker if you can stand it. You look at travel to get TV about to get TV about to get 12,250. You about to get 12,250 on them, and sold $12,000 right there, 12,000.
Hey folks, here with the winning bidders. Congratulations, Tony and Marcia Trombley, all the way from Northeast New York. You got your 7520.
I'm still in orbit.
And now, how long a drive did you guys have from New York to come down to the sale here?
It was 11 and a half hours steady driving. It was 12 hours yesterday and an hour today.
Okay. I understand, Marcia, you saw the video. You saw the promo?
I did. It was on Facebook on the Two Cylinder Club here, and I saw a little tiny picture. This was
of the line.
And this was at the very end of the line. And
so
I thought
Marcia's keen eye.
Maybe, yes.
Tony, I noticed when the bidding, it looked like it was going to be done there.
The ring man said, "What's your number? Get your number out."
And you were pulling it out, but then another online bid, but you persevered and you got it.
I did. Yeah. But that's the way an auction is,
right.
You know.
All right, folks, let's talk auction bidding strategy today, something a little different. Now, recently I was out in Nebraska hanging out with our friends at Landmark Implement at a great sprayer clinic they had, and I got visiting with one of their customers, Dwayne Alber. Here's a picture Dwayne sent me from his farm, beautiful cow catcher there, beautiful shot from his farm. But Dwayne and we got talking about auctions and tractors. And he told me a story about a Case IH tractor he bought a few years back, and he said, "Pete, the bidding came down to me and one other guy. And the other guy did the old shake his head, no, I'm done, walked away." And Dwayne's watching this, and he figures, if that guy bids one more time, I'm going to hit it immediately and message to him that I'm not going anywhere. And that's just what happened. The guy hemmed and hawed, "Oh, no, I'm done. Okay, I'll bid again." Bang. Dwayne hit it. Guess what happened? Dwayne got it. Now, I've been watching 30 years at auction, folks. I think body language and strategy is way more important than we tend to think about. Now again, I've been watching all these years. You know what percentage of the time when people do the old shake their head, "Nope, I'm done," and they walk away? I mean, you see it at every auction, very common. But it's 70 to 75% of the time those folks come back and bid again, and it's usually at least 2 to 3 more times, which again is totally fine. But if you think about going into an auction, I mean, ideally you should have a number in your head. Hopefully our machine repeat data can help there. So you know what that number, let's say the tractor you think is worth $50,000. You know how the auctioneers, all great auctioneers, they'll say, "Oh, 50,000, 50,000. Okay, let everybody play. Give me 10,000. And the auction builds. Well, what if you jumped in high, hard, and fast and said, "I'll give you 40, or I'll give you 42,000. Everybody gasps. But you know what? You saw off the momentum of that item, plus you're signaling to everybody at the sale, this thing is mine. Now, the rare times I've seen it done, it's worked, and you actually wind up getting it bought for less money. Now, you do have to be ready for your friends to say, "What the heck were you doing?" But again, try it. You might save a few bucks. Well, that was pretty fun today, folks, running into my old friends Marcia and Tony from Northern New York. I met them at the Classic Reunion, which we filmed for our Machine Repeat TV show, and they came all this way and were able to buy that John Deere 7520 to kind of complete their collection. So hats off to them, and we'll see you back here next week on Machine Repeat TV. Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com.